Next up at UFC Saudi Arabia, we have the main event of the evening. We have Israel Adesanya taking on Nassourdine Imavov, and I'm going to break it down with an empty chair underneath me because for some reason, Sam just got the hell up and left right before we hit the main event. I don't know what he's doing, and maybe he came back with a different animal. Sam apparently running an animal shelter, but we're going to go ahead and
doing here.
Yeah. How many dogs do you have in that house?
Just two. This is the black variant. Yeah, we showed the Imavov. Now we got the Adesanya.
Oh, Jesus, we got Israel Adesanya, 24-4 in his career, 2-3 in his last 5, riding back-to-back losses, taking on Nassourdine Imavov, 15-4 in his career, 3-1-1 in his last 5. He is on a 3-fight win streak. Israel Adesanya, tried and true. I don't need to give him much of a breakdown. We all know who he is. One of the longest reigning middleweight champions of the world. You could argue one of the best middleweights to ever live, and he certainly is that. I don't know if he is the best. I still think that despite a failed drug test, Anderson Silva is the best middleweight that's ever done it. But Israel Adesanya certainly has his place in history. He's beaten everybody ranked anywhere in this division outside of Sean Strickland and Dricus du Plessis. And while those losses are back-to-back, and it seems like Israel Adesanya may be on a skid, let's not forget that's the number 1 and number 2 guy in the world, and it's very plausible that Israel Adesanya is now the number 3 guy in the world, which is still a phenomenal place to be. He's a great striker who has apparently underrated jiu-jitsu, but he does seem to struggle with the takedown defense. He's taking on Nassourdine Imavov. Nassourdine Imavov is a French striker. He is busy, constantly working towards people. He can strike. He can counter-strike. He's got a good jab, solid elbows. He looks very comfortable mixing things up. He's got takedowns. He's got side control when he gets the takedowns, which is not very often. He averages fewer than 1 takedown per fight, and he doesn't really rely on them. He is coming off the decision win over Brendan Allen, where after that first round, the takedown defense really seemed to work, and he put it all together. We are at a point in Izzy's career where we need to decide, is he washed? Is he done with? Or is he just not the best guy in the world, but he's still top 5 in the world? I don't quite know yet. Obviously, when Sean Strickland dropped him, that wasn't a great look, but we found out that just, a month or 2 before that, he had a DUI. So obviously his head didn't seem to be in the right space. When Israel Adesanya lost to Dricus du Plessis, I thought he looked spectacular. I thought the striking looked unbelievable. He just couldn't defend the takedowns, and that is what it is. Nassourdine Imavov struggled early with Brendan Allen, but that was a very different fight than this one because Brendan Allen was taking him down. I am going to pick Izzy here. It's probably one of my last rides with Izzy because we'll see how good he is here. But I am picking him because I thought the striking looked great in that last fight. It's easy to remember he got kind of bullied and pushed around and dragged to the ground. But what people are forgetting is his striking looked unbelievable. He was there. He was lighting up Dricus's body. And if this is a mostly striking matchup and Nassourdine doesn't come all in on the wrestling, I think Izzy wins this fight. Does Nassourdine come all in on wrestling? He might. We haven't really seen it before, but he might. I am going to pick Izzy. I'm not going to spend my money. I think there's still too many questions. Until he gets a win, we don't really know where he is on this point of his career roller coaster. What do you think, Sammy baby?
I mean, listen, I want to start off by prefacing this by saying that Israel Adesanya is one of my favorite fighters if you look at the entire scope of MMA. He is from New Zealand. I am a New Zealander. This dude was like my gateway into being a New Zealand MMA fan. Israel Adesanya, I actually watched him before he got into the UFC because he fought in a New Zealand promotion called King in the Ring, and he fought my friend's older brother in there, Zane Holtman. And Israel Adesanya, in those brackets, it's a promotion. If you guys don't know this, King in the Ring is where you fight 3 times in the same night. It's an 8-man eliminator. So starts out with 4 matchups, goes to, 4 matchups, 2 matchups, and then the final. So that was less smooth than Angelo's take there. But the point is, Israel Adesanya
wasn't great.
He fucking chewed through that multiple times. And every time he was in there, he looked levels above everybody else, including my friend's older brother, who I thought was a really good fighter. And I was like, man, why is this guy so good? Fast forward a few years, he gets into the UFC and he's making light work of people in there. And I was like, oh, this guy's fucking world-class level good. It's not just that he's at a national level good. And I preface that by saying that I've been a huge fan of Israel Adesanya. I've been watching his since before he got into the UFC. I've watched every single fight he's ever had live when it happened, as far as inside of the UFC. And here and now against Nassourdine Imavov. Nassourdine Imavov is a part of the new breed of MMA fighter. He's coming up. He's doing it all. He's watched everybody not be one-dimensional, He's blended the arts throughout his entire career, and he's still evolving in doing so. When it suits him, he will go for the grappling. If it's not in the grappling realm, he will purely strike. And while he hasn't had 100% success rate, he's only struggled against the elite tier of fighters, some of which have even beat Israel Adesanya in the form of Sean Strickland. You could argue that the fight between Nassourdine and Imavov won the 5th round against Sean Strickland. So there are comparables here as well. And I do want to reference to people as well. Israel Adesanya went life and death against Kelvin Gastelum, like life and death. That fight, he literally goes there in the 5th round and says, I am prepared to die, is what he was saying out loud going into the 5th round against Kelvin Gastelum. Now, Kelvin Gastelum is a lot smaller than Nassourdine Imavov, and I challenge every single one of you guys here to name one 6'3" striker that Israel Adesanya has gone out there and styled on, because there isn't one. He hasn't fought somebody the likes of Nassourdine Imavov inside the UFC. So for people to think that he's going to be able to just kite around the outside and style on Nassourdine Imavov, I think is a fallacy. Without the grappling upside of Nassourdine Imavov, I think in a pure striking match, he's still live here. So with that grappling upside, which I witnessed him do to Chris Curtis, which was where I really got excited about Nassourdine Imavov in this matchup here, I think that if he gets the back of Israel Adesanya, he's going to sink in a body triangle because he's pretty quick at wrapping that leg up. And we've already seen what happens when Israel Adesanya is stuck here. Either he's going to rack up minutes or he's going to snatch that neck up. I'm taking Nassourdine Imavov. I think the sneaky play is to sprinkle him by submission and also hit that money line. But I think that he's live everywhere the fight goes.
Yeah, listen, I'm picking Izzy solely based off his historical body of work, and more specifically, I thought he looked phenomenal in the last fight. Obviously, he lost the grappling exchanges, but I thought he looked great in those striking exchanges. I don't necessarily disagree that Nassourdine's I don't think Nassourdine's a bad pick. I'm not betting on this fight because I'm not confident enough to spend my money. You will never see me do a flyer bet. I'm never like, the odds are good. Let's see what happens. Anytime I bet money, it's because I fully expect to win that bet. And I wouldn't fully expect to win the bet if I bet on Izzy, so I didn't do it. I don't quite think Nassourdine is as good as you're making him out to be, but I think he can win this fight. The question does become, will he wrestle? And it sounds like you think he will.
I think he's opportunistic, and that if they collide bodies, like if Izzy's trying to grab him in a Muay Thai clinch, if he's trying to lock up anything of himself, I think Nassourdine Imavov will quickly correct him as to who the better wrestler is here. If Izzy thinks he's going to get smart and try and grab the back of the neck of Nassourdine Imavov, I think he's going to reap the leg and end up on top of him, and Izzy's going to go, oh, fuck, that was a terrible idea. And once he smells that he has grappling success at all, if he gets a single takedown, he will go back to it because he's a smart fighter in there.
Yeah, we just heard from somebody, I don't know if it was Robert Whitaker, somebody just trained with Izzy and said his jiu-jitsu is unbelievable. Did you hear that interview? I don't know if it was Robert. It might have been Robert Whitaker. I know they were hanging out training together, but said like his jiu-jitsu is so underrated. And obviously, we just watched him get subbed and all that. And I haven't seen underrated jiu-jitsu, so maybe in the training room versus in a fist fight are two very different things, but that is the narrative coming out of there.
I mean, the only large bodies that I know of that are UFC level that come out of city kickboxing that Israel Adesanya is working with there, Navajo Sterling, Carlos Olberg. Who else? So where is he getting this phenomenal world-class Brazilian jiu-jitsu from? In New Zealand, one of the smallest nations on the earth. I'm from New Zealand as well, guys. I'm not shitting on it here. I'm just saying, if he was to have this unbelievable jiu-jitsu that we haven't seen now in, what is this, like a 13, 14 fight UFC, 0 submissions, against some of these guys who now they really don't hold up, fighting guys like Marvin Vittori, Brad Tavares, Derek Brunson. These guys were good back then. They don't hold up to today's talent. And we haven't seen a single submission out of Israel Adesanya. He's going to whip it out the bag here against Nassourdine Imavov. I don't think so.
Yeah, listen, I'm on the Izzy side because I thought the striking looked good. I think this is mostly striking, but I do think Nassourdine could be a solid underdog. If you don't want to see some tiebreakers, you want to see who Artem picked. If you want to see who Jacob, who couldn't join us tonight, picked, all of his picks, the bets, the artificial intelligence, every single thing that we do is up right now at WeWantPicks.com. Just click Become a Member at the top. Do you have a $5 super chat from Creeper's Keeper? He said, Bet Sam is a good dude. Got my vote, Angelo. Is a math. Hold on. This guy doesn't, you don't have punctuation. I think what this says is Bet Sam is a good dude. Got my vote. Angelo is a master at this game. Seriously, What happened with Jacob? Bless you all. WWP, the best of your buck. Jakey boy is alive and well. We just filmed the vlog together on Saturday. He just sent me a text about an hour and a half before the live stream. Was like, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it, not up to it. So wasn't able to join us today, unfortunately, but all the conspiracy theories that I have given him AIDS, those are invalid. I can confirm. Well, actually, I can't confirm. I haven't seen his blood work, but we can assume he's AIDS-free. Certainly on Saturday, I didn't see any signs of that horrible disease. What I have seen signs, though, are signs of life inside of the app. We've had 3,000 downloads, I believe, at this point. And anybody with an iPhone anywhere in this world can just search We Want Picks in the iOS App Store, download the app, and have full access to every single thing that we do. All the picks, all the bets, all the tools, everything we offer is available inside the app and ready to go. Also, with push notifications. When a bet hits the board, you will know instantly. Whether you're out or home, you can see it on your phone, immediately decide if you like it, decide if you don't, without having to wait, without having to log in, trying to browse. Bang, right there in the notification. Download the app. The app has full access to the data analyzer, one of our proudest tools, full research hub for you there. The line movement tracker, this will give you the opening odds, current odds, win probability, line movement for every fighter on every card. The prop hunter, a curated set of data specifically designed to help you find your prop bets. And people that look like this, that yell for no reason, giving you their picks and bets. Artem, who picks not only UFC, but other cards as well, and artificial intelligence, every single thing that we offer. $10, WeWantPicks.com, click become a member. At the top, we're about to hit a 16-week fight stretch. So that $10 will get you 4 events. If you time it right, you'll get 4 events and then basically a 5th event as well, because we're putting up picks and bets and breakdowns early. WeWantPicks.com. Click become a member at the top. You want 50, we'll send you 50 with the affiliate marketing. Go to WeWantPicks.com/bets. Use a link, sign up, make a deposit. What do you think, Mr. Sam?
Guys, everybody, there's over 300 people watching right now. And the stream only has 100 likes. Like up the freaking stream. Become a premium member today. It's only $10 a month. And honestly, even just to see all of the tools outside of our picks, if you don't believe in our picks, etc., which, by the way, you'd be a fool for not believing in, you also have all the tools and you can do all your own research. And I think it's the best platform available within this space for the lowest price as well. What else are you going to do? Sign up, become a premium member today, or you're a poor Android user. There's that as well. But, you know.
You're basically just a New Zealand version of me, but shorter, not as fast, and you don't have any of the charm. But
not as fast?
The pitch.
You mean speaking? Oh, yeah. I was like, physically, I will sprint race you.
I meant physically, but sure. So I'll sprint race you? What a ridiculous way to say race. I'll sprint race you. All right, well, Sam, thanks for hopping on. I appreciate you all last minute. So thank you. Thank you for everybody who called in. If you're watching just the end of this, we open up the show with you, with premium members that called in to help me break down these fights and break down this card. I think you enjoyed it. I enjoyed hanging out with Bet Sam here. I enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Appreciate every last one of you. Good luck this weekend.